Welcome to Beyond the Box. I'm here today with Lauren George, who is my financial planner, investment advisor, and she's going to come and share some of her knowledge that I'm constantly struggling with. Anyway, but first I want to tell you the story, and I didn't tell you either. I almost canceled today.
Oh,
because you're mourning this one.
Because no, I just want to tell this story. I don't know why. I just want to tell it because it's just humorous. It's humorous now, but so I moved, to like over where the Harpeth River is. Okay, and so and I've got these 3 little dogs. This will be a quick story, but I've got these 3 little dogs, and one of them is this little black dog, and he's older, and he wears a diaper all the time, and he wears me out. But anyway, that being said. I was wandering around the outside, and it was nice because they can wander, And so I went inside, lost him, couldn't find him. He's tiny. He's like this big, and he's black. And I was like panicking because I thought, oh my God! I looked because the gate was open to go. Here, I'll show you. The gate was open to go down to the river.
wow.
And I was like, and I went down the steps, and I saw what I know now was probably a fish that jumped, but I thought it was him, like drowning. And so I went down there and just panicked. It was muddy, and I almost slipped to go in, and I was like, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh my gosh.
What an awful way to die. And what was horrible, what makes me a bad pet owner was I was like, I don't have to buy any more diapers. It's okay. And then I was like, what are you thinking?
How old is he?
He's like 10.
Okay. Oh.
But I was like, he's gone. He's gone. There's no way. It was panic central. And then I thought, I'm going to have to cancel everything. And then I went up to the house, and there he was. Like, hey, I'm here. Just kidding.
What a morning.
And, yeah, it was.
Well.
Sweat. Yeah, it was like. Anyway,
Well, I'm
that
glad.
being said, that's a funny story for you today.
Glad that was the ending.
And he's here. I told my son about it, and he was like, I wouldn't be so sad. And I was like, are you kidding me? He pees everywhere. Everywhere.
Has he always peed, or is it just with older age?
He's always peed. I think it is a male dog thing. I've never had a male dog before.
How many dogs do you have?
I have 3 now.
Okay.
My male dog doesn't do that.
You have a big dog, though. I think this is a little dog thing. Like, if I could cut it off, I would.
Well,
Sorry.
big dogs are better because they can hold their bladder, and so they know how to wait and get.
They know how to behave.
Yeah, I'm not a dog person. I'm like, my father jokes with me. He's like, that's like a serial killer trait. I'm like, it's not that I don't like dogs, but I just don't think I'll ever have one.
I don't. That's okay. People aren't dog people, and that's okay. And your house is so spotless because of it.
No, I've got 2 kids, so
Yeah, you have 2 kids, but it's still our house is awesome. Okay, but anyway, that's my story for today. But back to Lauren. So, okay, so I researched you a little bit.
Oh gosh.
Last night. Are you from? You're from Memphis?
I am.
I did not know that.
Born and raised, grit and
Okay.
grind.
And you played lacrosse.
I did.
Like you were a major lacrosse player.
So growing up, I started my first sport that I was really into was soccer. My
Okay.
dad, though, had been the lacrosse coach at my all boy brother's school since I was born. So I was very familiar with the sport. It's less popular in the South.
It's pretty popular here.
It's popular, but it's definitely a northeastern concentrated sport from a talent perspective. And so, you didn't really. I don't think you could play for your school until 6th grade. So whereas soccer, you're playing when you're 3.
Yeah.
So I did.
Did you ever want to get in female hockey? Because usually it's hockey and lacrosse kind of go hand.
Yeah, no, one thing I liked about lacrosse is that we could wear skirts, didn't have pads, and it was the closest thing to tennis from a looks perspective, and I sucked at tennis. So,
Lacrosse is hardcore. What are you talking about?
not women's. Have you seen the women's game?
Yeah.
Well, it is, but you can't check bodies. So you wear it was a razorback top and a skirt. So to me, it looked like tennis.
But you were You were in attack.
I was an attacker.
Attack.
So
I looked that up.
I was an attacker.
I was
so
like, okay, well, no
I
wonder.
played offense. Yeah.
4 main positions. You dodge, distribute, high percentage shots, and create scoring opportunities. I was like, that totally suits her personality.
Yeah. Well,
For her job today.
I was actually a midfielder when I first started playing, just because I was fast. So that was part of why I was good at soccer. I just could run.
Yeah.
When I got to probably 7th, so my dad, who sort of, he's been tokened the godfather of lacrosse in Memphis. He was inducted in the first Hall of Fame class for lacrosse.
Wow.
That was a couple of years ago. He really built lacrosse for Memphis, and he didn't grow up around it. He went to Tennessee, was joined the club team. A bunch of guys on the club team are from the Northeast. Just kind of fell in love with the game, and then his story unravels from there. But when I was, I guess, in 7th or 8th grade, he realized, okay, I'm going to need to put my time and energy into my daughters. I have a
Yeah.
younger sister who also played. And so he switched from the boys' school to the girls' school.
You just have
And
one sister?
I have one sister and I have an older brother.
Okay. And he wasn't interested in lacrosse?
He is my dad's helper. He was
Okay.
born with some disabilities that made
Okay.
sports challenging. And
Yeah.
so, that was another big reason my dad stayed in the game for so long is Byers, my older brother. He loved the parents. He loved being on the sideline, Coach
Yeah.
B, to always give him something to do. So that was great. But yeah, so the switch was, 7th or 8th grade is when I took it seriously. And then I wanted to go to UVA, for University of Virginia. And I remember my dad was like, you should really go out and practice on the wall because I don't know that you're getting into UVA without lacrosse. And so that was
wow.
like, "Ugh, that's not nice, Dad. But or maybe it's I'm not going to pay for it without
Like a scholarship?
Yeah, he was like, you need to get a scholarship, and you probably need sports to get through admissions. So late in my for a lacrosse player, I was 7th, 8th, 9th grade before I started taking it seriously at all. And I actually spent my summers in Baltimore and played for a club team that was, very prestigious in the game. They had been playing since they were 3.
Yeah.
So I got to do 2 summers, kind of go through my recruiting years, get recruited and go off. And I'm sure my teammates were like, that's annoying. Well, my sister did the same thing, and since she's 3 years younger, and actually my cousin did it as well, she's a year below my sister, they did it all the way. So
Okay.
they were more a part of that club program up in Baltimore. I just did a quick 2 seasons. I didn't
And
love
you were
it.
like,
I was like,
good.
yeah, I mean,
It's natural.
It's
Yeah.
it's a summer away from friends and having to go to practices, and I hated it. But I also knew, I was grateful for the opportunity, and I knew it was the only way I was going to be able to get offers. And so it was always about playing at the next level. And it was fun. And it was really fun being from the South and being able to be sort of a star in a city because the game wasn't quite as competitive. And so I enjoyed that. I joke I peaked because once I got to school, I was either injured or, hesitant.
Yeah, it said injury.
Yeah,
so
I was
that's
not,
why was-
I did not have the collegiate career that I might have wanted, but
What injury did you
I tore my
sustain?
Liz Frank.
What?
It's a tendon in your foot that holds everything together. It's really a terrible injury.
Your Liz Frank?
It's LISFRANC. It's like a midfoot
Never heard of that.
tendon. Well, it's kind of in the center, and it keeps all your ligaments together. And when
Do you have a scar there?
I do have 2.
Oh my God.
I was in a cast for
What? Is it
4
under
months.
here?
No, just
It's on-
just 2 on the top.
So your Liz Frank is up here. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's you hear about it more with football players because of their weight.
Yeah.
Or you hear car accidents, your foot going into the
So you
floorboard.
can't be on
toes.
on toes.
So I did the
So when you
surgery. I
run-
actually did 2 surgeries instead of fusing because I thought maybe I would be able to come back and play.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. I mean, I can go on a long walk, but I'm not running probably ever again. So
Really?
it was a bad injury. Of course, I'm it was the silver lining
How
was
did it
that.
happen? I'm just curious.
Honestly, I had shot in the women's game. When you shoot and miss, I think it's actually in both games, but when you miss the goal, it's the first to the end line or the closest to the end line when the ball crosses. And so it was I think we were doing 1v1 drill, so it wasn't real. And I shot, I missed, and then in that moment, it's a drill. I'm not in a game. I kind of was like, but our coaches are like, you practice like you play. So when you miss a shot, I want to see your immediate gut reaction should be to go. So it was something was some disconnect of like that, oh shit, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And, my foot just popped. It was like a gunshot to
Yes.
my foot, excuse me. So anyways, it was terrible, but it actually ended up working out well because that took all the pressure off. I was still very part of the team. I had the best teammates, I had the best coaches, best experience, and I didn't have the pressure to perform or get in or be a starter. And so I joke, I'm like, yeah, I had high school for that.
Yeah.
That was great. And I joke with some of the stars on my on my college team, like they were in more competitive regions, so they weren't necessarily a star. They were just
you hurt yourself. Like, where is Hutchinson School? Because I saw that.
It's in Memphis.
Okay, so that was
High
high
school. I went there from K through 12. So my whole life, and I played lacrosse probably starting in 6th grade.
Okay.
Through. I know. I ended up going to Johns Hopkins.
Yeah.
So actually, I turned out to not go to Virginia, but it was between the two for me. So my cousin went to Virginia, my sister went to Vanderbilt, all for lacrosse. So lacrosse runs deep in our family. So yeah. Yeah. Well, it helps when you play lacrosse.
So, with John Hopkins though, you were playing lacrosse. You were.
I was. So
Okay,
I was
and that's
on
when
I was on the team. It was my junior year,
Okay.
fall ball. So the beginning of my junior year when I tore my Liz Frank. I was injured a little bit freshman, sophomore year, just minor injuries. My lack of playing time had more to do with my talent. So I just was a yell leader on the sidelines. And then my junior year, I think I would have played a good bit more. I had a good fall ball season until the Liz Frank tear. But that's why I joke, it kind of made it nice.
Do you miss it now? Like, do you ever want to get back? No, you don't have time, but
I don't have time. I do think that if I have 2 boys, so I probably won't get involved in the boys' game. But if I have a daughter, I could see myself wanting to coach her, or I'll be.
Have another kid.
I think so.
Okay.
My husband and I both come from 3, so that's sort of been our number. And I would really like a daughter. Not that I can necessarily control that.
Yeah.
But that's.
I could see you with a daughter. For
right,
sure.
right.
Yes.
I feel like I need
Yes,
that.
she needs to be in the cotillion.
That's right. So so I could see myself getting back into the game, but
She'll probably be just the opposite.
right.
Probably like, Mom, please. No, I'm not into that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
And then you'll be like, why did I have a daughter?
Yeah, I joke if my boys aren't athletes, I'll struggle, but I'll get over it. If they, want to do plays and
Well, your
music.
husband was he an athlete as well?
He was. He played tennis.
Okay.
He didn't play in college. He could have played for not a top D1 program, but he probably could have played Division III or maybe a smaller Division I program. But he decided that tennis is an individual sport, and I feel like you can get burnt out pretty easily. So he did, and he went to Auburn and was in a fraternity instead. So,
Okay, so hold on. All right, so you're at Johns Hopkins. You had the injury. What were you majoring in?
economics.
Of course you were. Okay. And then you met him.
So he's from
When?
Memphis also.
Okay.
He went to the all-boys school, to our brother's school. And I always knew him because he was in the same class as my older cousin, who I'm very close with my cousins. So growing up, I knew who he was. In fact, I remember, I have this vivid memory of being in 4th grade. My friend and I were bartenders for a 6th grade dance. Non-alcoholic bar, Coca-Colas.
I'm like, wow, you're a bartender too?
We
I don't
were
see that.
We were cracking the Coca-Colas and the Dr. Peppers for a dance birthday party.
Yes.
And he was dating her older sister. So we had all eyes on him because it was the boyfriend, the 6th grade boyfriend. But I also remember thinking, oh, he's so cute, and he's my first crush. So I never expected to ever be married to him, or maybe
Was he your first boyfriend?
No, I just have this memory. I have this memory of thinking, when we, I think it was my junior year. He'd graduated college already. When we were at a bar, just rekindling, I think I said, you were my first crush, because he was. But he was a lot of people's first
Sprite
crush.
that I gave you?
That's right. He doesn't. He probably doesn't remember that, but he also had an infamous white bowl. He was a towhead with the most defined bowl cut you could ever imagine.
Sexy.
But for whatever reason, to a 4th grader, that was it. Yeah, it was. Thankfully, he outgrew that. Now our sons will have have the
Have
same.
it?
William,
You gotta
my
keep
oldest,
it the tradition, right?
Right. We're definitely keeping the same haircut, but I don't think their hair has a little more curl to it,
Yeah.
so it doesn't look quite as like
Yeah.
bowl.
Like Mo from the Three
Right.
Stooges. Yeah.
Like actually.
Oh my God. Okay, so you had met. I'm just trying to get the whole timeline here. You were in economics, and then you graduated, and then that's when you decided, I want to really be in.
Finance.
Yes.
Basically,
I mean, was it always that, or did you?
So when
Because a lot of people come in, they go into school and they're like, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I did. I knew I wanted to work in finance. I knew I wanted to do something around investments. My grandfather.
Were you always good in math?
Math was definitely my preferred subject. I wasn't like a whiz in math. And math is not even a huge part of what I do today.
Yeah.
But I liked numbers better than writing or reading. So, but I also just, my grandfather, he worked for Goldman Sachs
Okay.
back in the day, prior to their IPO. So it was a different time. But he was always someone that I looked up to as like success. He was a bonds trader. But so I always kind of like knew about the space, but I didn't really know what it
Did
meant.
he talk to you about it?
No, I just knew what he did, and I knew what he could provide, and I liked those two things. And so
Yeah.
from a very young age, I knew that that's what I wanted to go do, and I didn't
Yeah.
even know really what that meant.
Yeah.
While I was in college, my first internship was at a registered investment advisor in Memphis, Green Square Capital, where the two partners actually worked with my grandfather when they're my parents' age, so much younger, and that's how I was connected to them. And I learned a little bit about what wealth management means and working with families. And so I enjoyed that. But again, I wasn't like, oh, yeah, this is what I want to do. The following summer, I was supposed to travel abroad, but there was a lot going on in the world. And my mom was like,
Let's not do that.
I don't know that I want you to do that.
Yeah.
Or at least I'm not going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So one way or the other, I had to get another internship. And that I did with a private equity group in Atlanta. And it was then where I was kind of like what you said, like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I told him, I was like, I want to do something with finance. If I'm going to work hard, I want to be rewarded. So something that has a lot of upside and growth potential. And the partner at this private equity shop like knew everybody in Atlanta. And he said, fine, you'll do this work for me during these hours. And every day for lunch, I'll set up a meeting with my friends and my network. And so one of the folks that I met was a private banker at my firm. In Atlanta, and he
Where'd you live in Atlanta?
I was staying in Virginia Highlands.
Okay.
So my summer was split between like Brookhaven, which is just north of Buckhead, and the Virginia Highlands. It was fun. I like Atlanta. The rest of my generation is there. My sister's there. My cousins are all there.
I lived there for like 8 years.
Did you really?
In the Highlands.
The Highlands is great. Like
I know.
it's
I know,
fun.
it's weird.
It's weird how much Atlanta comes up.
Yeah.
No, I mean I really
Atlanta was great. Now it's
right. Well, I don't
kind of a
really
shit show.
understand why they're all there. We could do a whole podcast on that. But they're there. They love it. They're making a life for themselves, which is great. But and frankly, like William and I had an amazing summer there. I worked. That was when he and I hung out. Was when I was doing an internship in Atlanta.
I mean, it depends on where you live too. If you're up in Alpharetta, seems a little calmer.
A little bit different.
Than
Yeah, I mean, both of our
Piedmont
like
Park
my
area.
internship and his job were in the heart of Buckhead.
Wow.
My cousin, who I was supposed to be living with, was in Brookhaven.
Okay.
William was in Virginia Highlands.
Yeah.
I've quickly spent more time in Virginia Highlands than I did in Brookhaven.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yep. So it was fun. It was a great summer. But what was great about the summer, the best part about the summer was that I met, someone that does what I do now, and that's when I learned that it's not just numbers, a computer screen. It's relationship driven, trust and family, and I loved that, and so that's kind of what I knew I wanted to do, but I didn't do the internship. I didn't work we have a very robust internship program. I didn't do it. And so I kind of just got lucky and got a full-time offer for right out of college. So I moved to Dallas, and
Wow.
that's how I started what I'm doing.
To Dallas. How long were you in Dallas?
3 years.
Okay.
And I was an analyst there. So I worked for senior investors and bankers and got to work with some really some fun families. And that's the other thing about what I love. Like I love the clients.
Yeah.
So
you're doing exactly what you're doing now, in Dallas. I mean,
Basically, except for when
Okay.
I was in Dallas, I was an analyst supporting senior bankers that had their own clients.
did you shadow somebody to like learn all this stuff? Because
No,
I feel like you just jumped right in and started going.
Yeah, you kind of jump right in, but you're an analyst for 3 years. So
Okay.
you have the class above you and two classes above you that kind of help you. So between them just showing you how to run the performance reports, how to pull things, how to analyze and, how to stay on top of the market, between having that group of folks, which in Dallas there were a lot of us. There was like 20 analysts.
Yeah.
That's really how you learn. And then you get experience with the bankers. You're the analyst. So like you've met Connor, and
Yeah.
that's my analyst. So he's learning how to be a banker by sort of working with me and doing a lot of the.
He's shadowing you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess shadowing is a good word, but he's
Yeah.
doing the work. I mean, when I come to you with your performance numbers, I didn't
Right.
put it together.
Yeah, he's
so
doing it.
he's doing it. So
Yeah.
I spent 3 years doing it, and I'm very grateful that I did it in Dallas.
Right.
It's a very large private bank within my business. It's one of the biggest offices. So I got to work with some really senior bankers that had been there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Our clientele, very old and established, which was
Right.
fun. Some people you would know. I mean,
Yeah.
names you would know.
Wow.
I remember I mispronounced a name of a football star in Dallas who's also a massive businessman as well.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get an investor to answer the phone. It's like you see in the movies, it can sometimes be loud and dramatic. And I mispronounced his last name. And all the boys turned around and they were like, oh my gosh, did you just say, like, call your, at the time it was my boyfriend, call William and tell him who you just talked to. And I was like, it's not like he's a Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Because, I'm from Tennessee, and that's who I think of as, like,
Right.
the big deal.
guy.
And
Yeah.
they were like, you're in Texas, sweetie. It is. It is just like Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And, I remember.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Right.
Don't you know that?
Right. So
Yeah.
anyway, it was funny and cool, but it's just fun. And I liked the high profile clients, and
Yeah.
before going into finance, I did consider one other job career path, and that was going to be like working at a creative agency. So being like an agent for sports, or maybe an agent for entertainment. Like
Oh, wow.
CAA has an office
I could
here.
see you doing that.
Yeah, so that was something I was really interested in, and then I realized I probably needed a law degree. The pay wasn't quite as strong in the beginning.
Yeah.
I actually had a job offer, and I was going to be in New York, but I believe it was minimum wage, and my dad was like, well, at first he was
see you in New York. I don't know why.
well, your minimum wage should be in the start. You start minimum wage, and you have to make it to the mailroom. If you've seen Entourage, CAA is like that's after. I think that the whole show is kind of around that. So I remember when I first got the job, or was getting the job, my dad was one of his good friends works for the firm that I was interviewing with, and was sort of helping me think through this career path. He was so supportive. He's like, it'd be great. You'll work in the Chrysler building. Like, I'll help you. I mean, I don't know how much help he was going to be, but he was very supportive. Well, when he found out about my job that I have now, he called me and said, I will no longer support you. You better take the job at the bank. And that made the decision real easy for me. I was like,
Yeah.
well, I can't live on minimum wage in New York, not the way I like to live. And he decided that when he saw the difference between the two industries, he's like, yeah, you're gonna go work the 90 hours. Yeah, right. So, I put a lot of hours in Dallas, and
What brought you to Nashville?
well, my husband or boyfriend was here pretty much the whole time. He was in
Okay.
Atlanta for the very beginning. So we were doing the
he
long
was in
distance.
I was gonna say, God, that sucks.
Yeah, we were doing the long distance thing until COVID, basically, which
Wow.
allowed us to be together because I could work remotely. So yeah,
Really? Wait, when did you get married?
22.
Oh my God.
I know.
Girl.
Baby at 23.
Okay.
I know.
She's been busy. Like married, 2 kids.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was good because also being from Memphis, and I spent my kind of analyst years where you're really grinding in Dallas, which was great. I was getting the best learning platform you could have, but when it was time for me to go off and be a advisor myself and go bring in new business, and there's no better place than Tennessee. That's where I wouldn't know you.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about how we know each other, it's from
I know, it's crazy.
a friend of my mom's from college. Well, actually, an ex-boyfriend.
That is weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And he connected me to your brother, and then your brother connected me to you. Like, that's just how the world works. But
Yeah.
that's what I love about it. I love
Yeah.
the relationship aspect.
I know. I'm so glad I met you, but I'm so frustrated at the same time when I talk to you because she says a lot. People like
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, how do you maintain all of the knowledge that you pass on to me, and also how do you deal with people like me that I need like the cliff notes? A lot of times I just tap out. Like she could be talking and it's like I'm offline.
I'm not talking about things that are half as complicated as I'm sure as you do. She does that.
I have no. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're gonna.
And I just let you keep talking,
you're not
and I'm
giving
like,
yourself
I'm
credit.
not.
Yeah. She always doesn't do that.
Yeah, she's not giving herself credit.
I am giving myself credit. I try really hard to I'm like, it's like I'm on a string going, I'm right here, Lauren,
Right.
and you're still talking, and I'm like, I just dropped off.
Well, it's funny. Like the main thing that we talk about a lot about is one of the strategies, and it is hard. Like it's a tax strategy, which we don't need to go into the details.
Yeah.
But it's a tax strategy that has to do with mortgages and investments, and it is confusing, but that was the premise of this. How we started working together.
Yeah, but I mean, how do you do it very well? You're very sweet and you're always smiling, and it made me not feel so stupid. But to other people, as you probably do the same thing. But I'm just like, how do you gain all that knowledge and then keep it and then transfer it over to people like me?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the biggest part of our job is how can we take something that's really confusing and a lot of
Scary.
movie. Yeah. I mean, like investments, like you can simplify it, but like being good at this job as an advisor is to be able to take something that's a bit complex or just a lot of data points and sort of be able to synthesize it and bring it to a client in layman's terms that they can understand. And I think that a lot of what people think we do, they think is like super complicated. And it's not as complicated as it may seem. And even though...
But it is to people that just aren't living it on the
Sure.
daily. And you have a lot of... you have a lot of knowledge, but also you have to keep gaining. I mean, there's new things that happen.
Yeah.
And you have to keep gaining that, and then you've got to share it. So it is.
I have like
it
a
is lot.
process, right? So like for me, I have, when I'm meeting with like my clients,
Yeah.
Yeah, like when I meet with my clients, I usually, if they're clients, they have a portfolio with me. So we've gotten to know each other.
Hey guys, just a quick word. I love doing what I'm doing, and I would love to continue it. And so, in order to continue it, I would also love any kind of support that maybe you guys can bring my way. So that would be either an ad read or a sponsorship. Even if you wanted to donate $5, any little bit helps. And for me to continue this journey, what I'm doing, interviewing people and learning about their awesome lives. So thank you.
Built and explained what it is that we are doing. And sometimes, Meredith, you and I go back and forth like okay, Meredith, this is what we're doing and this is why we're doing it, because it's really important to me that my clients know how their money's invested or why we put money here versus here, because I want them to feel like empowered.
You have to have, and trust as well.
Right. So there is a part of that's already been established if they're a client. So when I meet with them, and I meet with some clients quarterly, sometimes monthly, sometimes annually. Sometimes it's like I'll talk to you in 2 years. It just really depends on the client. And then I talk to some of my clients every day. Truly, there's no right way to work with me. But when I am having those sort of review type conversations, my process is I talk about where we've been in the world. So I'll talk about like, okay, remember we've just gotten through, X, Y, Z. Here's where we are. So this is what your portfolio is doing. This is what's happened this year. And here's where we think we're going. And I'm very spoiled being at my firm because I have access to so much great information that can help me deliver just that way. Yeah. And so it's kind of like a grounding moment that I have with each of my clients. And because that's my framework, it allows me to say, when we're talking about here's where we are, we can point to the portfolio. We can point to the decisions that we made because of where we were, how it's doing, and if we want to stay the course or make changes. And so
what's a critical skill that you need to have in order to talk about wealth management? Like for you, if somebody's wanting to actually get into it.
I think that you have to do your research. So you have to be someone that's passionate enough to read
Right.
about what's out there. So like for me, it's understanding, like right now, for example, if you keep up with what's going on in the world, you know that we have a massive conflict with Iran.
Right.
Well, to be good at my job, you have to actually be interested in that, and you have to understand what that might mean. And like for us, like if you were to ask me what's the highest returning asset class today, like it's energy, it's commodities, and driven by oil. But also when inflation is something we've talked a lot about over the course of the last couple of years. Well, when oil's prices go up, you see inflation go up. So, we're constantly following the geopolitical conflict, the strait, right, the chokehold that we're seeing of supply of oil and how that's flowing through to businesses here and therefore their earnings. So like we're keeping a close tab on that. So the person that's in my seat, if they're not like at all interested, then they're not going to be very effective,
Right.
With their clients trying to explain what it is that we're doing. And that's really what our job is. I'm not picking your stocks. I am understanding what we have to offer and what it is that you need. And
So you've got to be really up on current events.
Yeah. So and that's like AI is like if you're an advisor and you can't talk or like at least understand that that's going to be something we're spending a lot of time and focus in, then you're probably not like in a good place to be an advisor. So I would definitely say keeping up with current events, not being afraid to pick up the phone and call. Call. I hate when people hide behind emails. Like this is, some of our clients are in their 80s. They don't want to check an email. Like just call them.
Right.
And they're lovely. They're so lovely.
Right.
So I think being able to communicate clearly.
Well, depending on the age of the person. Yeah, for sure. I think about my mom, she was not into emails, texting. She had a, camera that she would take to Walgreens, like a disposable camera. And, it was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, phone call for sure would be the easiest thing.
And just like genuinely wanting to get to know your client. Like I think there's a lot of jobs within finance that your client isn't a person. I mean, it is like you're dealing with a person, but it's a company or it's, you're raising capital for an investment. What I love about what I do is like at the end of the day, my clients are individuals. Yeah. And so understanding their life, their family, the dynamics, what makes them anxious. Yeah. Like that's important. And that's what I think is the most fun. So I think there's a lot of traits you need to have to be able to navigate both.
Now it makes me think, God, do you have like a note file on me? I'm like,
no.
Let's see. She gets stressed out when blah, blah, blah,
No, but I know how you roll. So if you call, I always try to call you back. Like we text. I'm not supposed to text you, but I do.
Oh,
but
okay. I didn't know that.
It's fine.
Sorry.
We don't text about work.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no. But, oh shit, sorry. I haven't turned my mic up the whole time. That jump scared me. There's a friend of my dad's who, him and his brother, have a company that does investments or investment management, wealth management, and actually, what you were just now talking about, I was talking to them about that last time that I was talking to them because I was talking to him about videography, and I was explaining like that the financial services are very complicated and like it would be good to do like educational content around it or like a podcast or whatever, and. I mean, they're in a different state, so it wouldn't have worked for more than one reason. But the point being is that they were like, dude, the amount of like restriction around what we can say, when we can say it, who we can say it to. He was like, I can't even text. My dad's one of his oldest friends since he was like 5 years old. He was like, I cannot text your dad about this. I was like, what do you mean you can't text him about this? He's like, he's my client. He hired me to do this, all the things, but I cannot communicate with him in that way. And I was like, it's just interesting to think about. And it was the other thing I was going to say is that whenever I was having that conversation with him too, it's very interesting the level of like what you're saying. I would think like math, like numbers, crunching them, but he was saying the same thing, that he loves the fact that my dad, who's one of his best friends, is somebody whose assets that he manages, because it's the personal touch to what he does is very surprising to me.
I mean, I think it is. It's relationship based, and you're dealing with money, and people are weird about money, and so you've got to have like trust 1,000%.
Yeah.
And then, but you've also got to have the knowledge, and then you've got to have the numbers. So you're just a full package.
Oh my gosh,
girl.
no. No, it's really like,
It's true though, honestly.
It's, for me, I feel like if you work for a good firm that has a sound product, which I think is important. And I think there's a lot of advisors out there. You see this in lots of different industries, but there are a lot of advisors out there that don't have the resources that I have at my fingertips, that don't necessarily have a competitive fee structure, that don't have access to private markets. And you know, when they don't have those things, it doesn't mean they can't be really successful and do a really good job for their clients. It just means a lot of the faith of the client is going to be on that individual, because you know, investing in public markets is a bit of a commodity. You can access it. You can do it at Fidelity, Charles Schwab. You don't necessarily even need to pay a fee. And so, you know.
Well, unless you want the knowledge, you're paying for the knowledge.
Right, but you could theoretically hire someone that works for a small shop that doesn't have, you know, a hundredth of the resources and data behind what I have at my firm.
Right.
But when you're doing that, you better hope that that person, you know, has it going on, right? That they are doing the research, that they are.
Do you watch like all the stocks and stuff? Because I was looking at that today.
I don't.
Like the S&P 500
Oh, yes.
or the Dow or the NASDAQ. I looked up all that.
Yeah. So no. So I do watch the markets, like but what I can say is I am not, like, I don't stock pick. I'm not following a bunch of stocks for my clients.
But you have somebody that does.
I have someone that does. So essentially, like for me, I get to use the portfolios that I have at my disposal on my platform. And I need to be well read on, I need to understand them, because I need to understand why this portfolio makes sense for what you need. So that is really the role that I'm playing.
Because I remember saying at one point, I was like, what if we invest in this stock and this stock? So, I mean, people come to you and say that.
Yeah.
So you've got to.
So if people want to stock pick, well, if they're picking the stocks, then they certainly don't want to pay us a fee to do it, and we don't accept that. You know, they can do that in a brokerage account. We open self-directed accounts all the time. We don't charge any fees on that. Now, could you be a full 100% self-directed client at our bank? No, we don't make money, so we would say we're just not a great fit. But we have plenty of clients that, for the bulk of their assets, they hire us to manage it. And so that's going back to, like, I pick the portfolio, right? I build the portfolio. But then they might have, for 10% of it, they might, you know, if they're ex-hedge fund guys, like, they're going to pick stocks. They're going to make bets, right? And so they'll do that in a brokerage account. We're not going to charge them a fee for that. That's, you know, and they sometimes will ask us what we think. And the great thing is I can always pull up our investment bank's analyst research. I can see what the street's price target is. I can tell them, like, hey, this is what we like, you know, industrials. So this is an industrial. Like, there's, you know, we can be educated around giving advice, but it's just not the way we manage wealth. So I'm not, like, sitting behind a computer and picking stocks. And you wouldn't want me to be doing that, because for starters, like, I couldn't be here if I was doing that.
Right.
So I'm very grateful to be at a firm that I can trust, like, the product's going to be good. And it makes my job a lot easier, because I can go out and meet women like yourself, and, you know, you don't have to worry about the portfolio. It's just, do you like me or not? Like, can you trust that I'm going to, you know, pick up the phone when you call and, you know, act in your best interest? And I think that that's been a big part of why I haven't changed firms, is I'm scared to go to, like, a smaller shop, even though that, like, the lifestyle might be better. I'm not saying that it is. I actually am very happy, but, like, there are pros and cons to a big bank like where I work versus a smaller one. So while the lifestyle might be better, it's like me going out into the market and being like, I represent me and co. Like, bring all your, like, that's just, it's uncomfortable. Like, it's scary. So,
but why? Because you've got the experience now.
Well, I'm one person, and I like if you were to look at the people that are managing your portfolios, you've got a team of 50 people, CFAs in New York that are they are
What's CFA?
Certified Financial Analyst.
Oh, okay.
So it's I don't have that. It's kind of like a CFP. It takes 3 years. It's 3 years of testing, assuming you pass every year, and 4 years in the business. I thought about getting it, but I don't need it to do what I do. And it's my husband has it.
Yeah. What's a CFP? Planner?
CFP is Certified Financial Planner. Don't have that either, but that is less.
It seems like the same thing.
No, CFA is a big deal in the finance world. Getting a
Okay.
CFA is challenging. You know, it's not something I plan to do, but I think if like I manage analysts in our office, and when they come to me asking if they should get a CFA, I'm like, yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Can't hurt if you can get it. But those are the people that are managing your portfolio,
Okay.
not me. Yeah, like I can talk about what's happening. I
You're
can
just texting me when
yeah,
you're not supposed to.
right. I can talk about the contributors and the contractors and what our CIO team is doing, but I'm not, in and out looking at the underlying vehicles in the portfolio. Yeah.
So what do you? I was going to ask you, like, what do you see most people doing that's bad for their long-term financial wealth,
I think
or that's just like you should.
not do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think allocation is really important. So a lot of people, they misjudge their spend.
Yeah.
That's a common theme we see. So,
Yeah.
if a client comes to you
Relatable.
and says, I spend $500,000 a year, build me a portfolio, I'm trying to target an income that's going to make that $500,000 possible without taking, risk. Like, I don't want to have to sell from your stocks to come up with 500,000.
Use 500. How much do you
Right.
actually?
So if someone's going to spend 500 grand, I'm going to want to make sure there's income in the portfolio. And a lot of times that comes with sacrificing upside because you're buying things like bonds or you're buying, you're writing call options. So you're capping upside on, the stock market. Like you're doing things to generate income, which comes at a cost, which is usually long-term return. So it's the right allocation to allocate to bonds so that you can meet that 500. But, if you were to put all your money in the stock market and not pull from it, the stocks are typically going to outperform bonds. That they just do. So what ends up happening is a client says, oh,
What's a bond?
It's a fixed income product.
Okay.
So let's just for 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna throw some terms at you. Just give me vocabulary definitions. Okay.
Sure.
Bonds.
Yeah.
Bonds. So bonds are a debt instrument. So when you buy a bond, you are giving money and the issuer is paying you a coupon. And then the bond will mature and you'll get your money back. So it's the opposite of a stock. If you buy a stock, you are giving the company equity that can grow. Bonds are higher on the cap table. So if a company were to go under, the bond shareholders they owe them money. They're going to get their money back first. And if a company goes bankrupt, you can expect your stock to go to zero. So it's less risky. And you typically, the thought is that you're going to get a coupon. So you've probably heard the expression, oh, I just clip my coupons. Have you ever heard that? Like a rich guy says, oh, I just have all my money
No,
in
I
a
haven't
muni
heard
bond
that, but
portfolio
yeah.
and I just clip my coupons. Well, what they're saying is I take that coupon and I just spend whatever my portfolio yields, which is the interest that the issuer is paying. And the issuers could be corporations, the issuers could be municipalities. Those are the most common in the public space. So the overall return of a bond is going to be lower, but you're going to get a stable cash flow. So it's important when you're trying to figure out the allocation to know, well, how much, not to mention that since there's less volatility, which is the change in market value, owning bonds helps for the downswings in the stock market. So when the market sells off dramatically, if you own bonds, it serves as sort of like a ballast and it offsets and insulates you.
foundation. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
going back to your question, like the mistake people make is they say they spend 500,000. We build a portfolio generating the income they need to be able to spend 500,000, but really they spend $1 million. And now they're calling us needing money for their pool or for their beach house or for their private airline.
Right.
And they call, and if the market's down, but I have to come up with the money, then I'm
You have to
pulling, I got to sell at a loss. And
Yeah.
that over time will erode wealth. So it's
Right.
not that buying equities is bad, but if you buy too many equities because you haven't right-sized the allocation proportionate to their spending, you've messed up. So I always say our job is part financial planner or
Do
investment
you
advisor.
ask for, I need to know exactly what your spending is. Like, you don't just tell me off the cuff. I need to know. because a lot of people probably don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
be honest.
it's a little bit of like a dating thing, right? I'm not going to be like, I won't work with you unless you send me your credit card statements. No, I don't do that, but I do say, this analysis, this proposal, this portfolio is only as good as the inputs. So I am working under the assumptions, and my assumptions are as good as you
What
give
you
me.
tell me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and I think my job is to get that right so that when the stock market is down 20%.
So you have to be really conservative if you don't know the person.
You gotta know them, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean-
I don't invest. I have to know them. Like if a client says, here's $20 million, what would you do? I would say, well, I would do nothing because you haven't given me enough information. Someone might say, oh, I'd break it 60. There are people that would answer that question right off the bat. And I don't think those people.
This much here, put that much there.
Yeah, and
What's the context?
right. And I think if you aren't asking the questions, you've missed the boat. And
Do you find that most people that have a lot of wealth, I mean, they have a real grasp of what they have, or is it just the opposite?
it's different. Everyone's different. I have met plenty of people, you included, that don't know exactly.
Hey, thanks for calling me out.
Sorry.
Shit.
But like it's great. Like you know where you are, but you don't know exactly where you are, and
But I
that's
know
been,
so much more now.
you do. That's
I-
that's why I love working with you.
you,
But I
Lauren.
think that that's not uncommon. It's just there's a lot to keep up with, so it's
But
easy.
like for like people that you would think would know, I think is what she's like with people that have all this is absorbent wealth. You would think like they would be on top of their shit, but do you find that they're not really?
Some are absolutely on top of it because that's how they've gotten where they are. Some aren't. Some are like, oh, and I just found out that I have a tax refund of $2 million, and they're just so nonchalant about it. And I'm like, oh wow. So it just really does depend. I mean, some folks, depending on the industry, depending on how the wealth was created, there's so much like.
That's what I was thinking too. Like if you depending on how you came about the money, I guess
Absolutely.
would make that vary a lot. Like if you made your money in an industry where you would have that kind of brain to keep track of that, it would be totally different than if you like won the lottery for example.
Sure.
Like the lottery person has no experience at all with wealth.
Well, and like if you've been an investor in I'll just use public markets because we've talked. That's basically what we've done. If you've been an investor in public markets over the course of your lifetime, you understand. You know what happens. You know when the market's down, what that feels like, and you know not to call and freak out, right? Like, but then you've got a new investor this is their first go in this space, and they tell you they're good. They tell you put it all. When I say I expect this portfolio to yield or return X, and it's a lot higher than this one, everyone's like, yeah, put it all there.
Yeah.
But then the second there's turmoil in the market, I'm getting that call, and I sort of like, yeah, because this is your first time, and so there's a little bit of sophistication behind just having experience.
Well,
doing
again,
this.
it's trust and just having to put it away and then not look at it and then realize realistically that it can go down, it can go up, it's going to fluctuate.
And I think people that have been around it, whether it's generational wealth, so they've just been very in touch with markets, they're better at not picking up the phone and reacting. Because when I say, yeah, this can go down 20%, they're
I
not
don't
like
pick up the phone and react.
right. No, you don't.
I don't.
But I do have to say something about that real quick because I've never understood that about like the way the market's just very interesting, long and short of it. Because from that standpoint, like a bank like a bank rush, for example, it's like sometimes it's the fear like totally creates a problem that isn't there.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
ironic because if you
Like headline risk.
so you
Yeah.
you read something, everybody goes and does something, which creates the problem that you were afraid of. If you would have done nothing.
Right.
You could have just ridden it out like you were saying.
Yeah, I mean that we saw the run on banks a couple of years ago, which was crazy. And frankly, I'm 30, so I've only been doing this for 8 years. And I remember when I was in orientation
You have
training.
so much knowledge to be 30.
I've been lucky. I've been at a firm that, again, like they give it to me on a silver platter. But I remember being in sort of, we were at training in New York, and someone was talking about our balance sheet and how secure it is and why clients need a balance. And I was thinking, nobody cares about our balance sheet. People aren't, like, we're not gonna have a bank run. Like, I didn't think about, and then it happened. And I was like, wow, I've never felt better having this $3 trillion balance sheet.
Wow.
So it's just, it's
interesting the psychology of it.
It is, and then I had a prospect that had money at a regional bank, and of course I wasn't like, oh, I hope the regional bank tanks. No, I mean I didn't want that, and it was sad to see what was happening, but it was like, wow, now I have a whole new appreciation for what it means to have a safe and secure and large balance sheet, and so that's interesting. And then like with to your point, like stocks are very volatile. They move, and it can be it can be investor sentiment. It could be something with the management leadership team. There could be a scandal. It could really be anything. But at the end of the day, the long-term growth of a stock is going to largely depend on earnings and GDP growth. Like the stock market, like GDP growth.
What's GDP?
Gross domestic product.
Okay.
It's an economic term, but it's basically like consumption, which is you going to the grocery store and buying something. That's factoring into GDP. So we've had strong GDP growth over the last several years, and it's been largely driven by the consumer. So even though some of this up market, or volatile times, we're all like, oh, this doesn't feel good. It's felt worse than it is. I mean, we've had tremendous market returns in the last 10 years, but it feels like there's always something that's making investors anxious. And I think that
that's how it is today.
And that's exactly how it is today. I mean, today we are cautiously optimistic.
Are you feeling anxious or?
I'm feeling cautiously optimistic is what we were saying, and I think it's how I'm feeling. I think that there is a lot of upside to be, especially in AI. I think, there's going to be winners, there's going to be losers. I think companies are staying private longer, so figuring out how to get access to those winners is going to be part of the game.
Yeah.
I think that
how is AI playing into it? Like,
well,
for succinctness of following what you're saying, you're talking about the economy at large, right? Whenever you're saying
Yes.
Anxiety, cautiously optimistic.
yes.
So, broadly speaking.
So the entire economy is built on AI right now. It's kind of a thing.
Well, I mean, it's AI
not all of it.
is disrupting.
It is.
But it's disrupting,
Parts of it.
Some of the labor markets, but it's also providing so much productivity. So I don't have, like, if I did, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. But I don't have the answer. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that it's something we're closely following. It's certainly a theme that we're seeing. And we are, going to be, like, investing in companies that are going to be, like, data center spending beneficiaries, as an example. Okay. So, like, we're looking at ways to play AI as we navigate who the winners and losers are going to be. I think there's some anxiety around, well, is AI going to take everybody's job? Mm-hmm. And I think that AI will take some jobs. Like, we're less optimistic with, like, software as a service, some of those companies, for that reason. Mm-hmm. There was another podcast one of my colleagues was telling me about. They were talking about the tech companies are laying off a bunch of employees right now, and I think it's getting a lot of media attention. And the big bad tech companies. Well, what they're laying off the measurers, so all the middle management, which are basically just there to measure productivity.
Right.
They're laying them off because AI can do it.
Right. They don't need them.
And so that's interesting, but also because AI can do it, and you don't have to have all these measurers who are, putting meetings on your calendar and creating all this inefficiency, and there's probably going to be a lot more productivity, which would allow companies to actually grow at a faster pace and therefore need more employees to go do, more productive things. And so it's kind of like what we saw with the tech boom. People thought people's jobs would go away, but instead it actually created more jobs. And so that's kind of what we're hoping will happen with AI. And I think it probably will happen. The real question, or the golden question, is like, what's the timing of that going to be? Or if we lose a job, are we going to get a job at the same time?
Right.
Or if we lose a job, is it going to take 6 months to get, to get another job?
I would think it's going to take longer.
I think right now, the companies that are using the most AI are hiring the most right now.
Who's using the most AI right now?
Big
companies.
Like Microsoft and NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And, semiconductor companies.
Okay.
So, I think there's opportunities there. We're watching inflation, obviously, very closely, and that's largely correlated to what's happening with, Iran and geopolitical tensions. And we're spending money on energy efficiencies and supply chain. And
when you go home at night, do you just, like, get on like, I don't know, all the news outlets?
No,
and
I should.
like,
I would be better at my job if I
take notes?
did. No, I read.
like, aren't you exhausted?
But
like
generally,
a
you're
full day?
passionate. But you're passionate about it, though. Like like generally speaking, it's interesting to you. So it doesn't like the framing that it's like homework isn't. It's not really. You enjoy it for the most part.
I enjoy it. I get a lot of this information by just being in my office, being at work, and working with clients. So when I'm prepping for a meeting, I'm reading about. I'm gonna talk about the market, so I'm gonna read up on what's going on.
Right.
And I think some advisors, do a better job of it than others, and some advisors are super passionate. I'm fairly passionate, but I'm not by no means an expert. Like,
Yeah, like how much time do you have to just allocate in your day to learn about everything that's going on?
to the client's care. Like, am I going to sit here with you and go deep into the weeds on global fragmentation, inflation, and AI, and talk about all the things that the way we're playing those themes that we are talking? Like, no, I'm not, because you don't.
Well, yeah, but you've just got to know it. You've got to be knowledgeable.
Because someone might want to talk about that.
You might care about the end result.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Right.
you might
And
care about the end
you're going to
result.
have to study it. So I guess in your day, in your like full day, what is a full day for you?
Well, I'll tell you about.
Right.
I'll just tell you today because it's kind of
Okay,
funny.
tell me
so
today.
I got to the office at about 8:30, which is a
Yes.
little late. Logged on. My precious babysitter from last night let me know that my son had spilt his popsicle on our white sofa that doesn't flip. Like, not like it was like Pottery
Yes.
Barn's lowest level sofa. So like, I'll never do that again. I'll never make that mistake. Pay more,
Yeah.
and be able to like take
Yeah,
the cushion
cushions
off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I like called my husband. I'm like, "Are you still home? I need you to take a picture of the popsicle stain," because she also said
It's a problem.
that she used something that was on our countertop, which is probably not correct. In this particular sofa,
Turned it yellow.
Like, yes, I've had to have a professional clean the sofa like 5 times. It's like the one sofa I don't like to get
Why
dirty.
do you have a white? Why?
I don't know, because I like white. So like that happened. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I have a meeting at 10 a.m., but I have to get home and clean my sofa. So I left the office. I went home.
It's a priority.
I cleaned the sofa. It came
Pottery
out.
Barn.
It looks good. And then I'm like running late, so I took my Zoom call. My Zoom call was with a client who's contemplating a strategic.
Was said Zoom call in the car, or was it?
It was going to be in the car, but I decided to actually have it in my green room. So I sat at my
Okay.
house. I'm like,
Nice.
clearly at home. And of course, I'm like having a slow morning. I'm like, I'm actually not having a slow morning. I was already in the office. I had to get downtown and back home. Anyway, I took that call, came back to the office, had to put some money to work. So there was some money that came in and needed to, so I placed a couple of trades. Something that I also my analyst could have done, but Connor is out of
It's
town.
out of town. Yes. So you did it.
So I did it.
Of course you did.
I did. I sure did. And then I went to lunch with an analyst, and
Nice.
that's when she told me about the All In podcast and what was
Okay.
happening with the measurers and middle management. So it's like, and here I am. So I love it. Like
And then you're on the phone
with my mom,
Okay.
debating a house project. I love. If
And
I
then
wasn't,
you'll. So when does your workday end?
well, we have an event with NetJets.
With who?
NetJets. It's a
Okay.
private flying group.
Okay.
So I think you have shared interests in planes.
Oh,
If you want to fly private. So really
any
good way
single
to-
people?
I don't, it's actually, I think just our team
Asking
and
for a
NetJets,
friend.
but we do have an event. We had an event, I think while I was on maternity leave, sorry. But we do try to have events with NetJets, which you should definitely go to, because typically those that are
We'll be in
there.
touch.
That's right.
I'll
I think
text you.
I think today it was just with the management team. But anyway, so I'll go back to the office. I'll check my email, and I'll hopefully, have a drink and learn about private aviation.
And then you go home, and then
Then I
you
go
have your
home.
2 kids
And then I have my 2 kids
and your husband.
and my mother-in-law, because she just drove in.
Okay, and they're going, "What's for dinner?"
Yep. And I don't cook very much.
Yeah.
My husband cooks.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
like
bonus.
it's a bonus.
Yeah.
So
So you go home, and then are you? I would think I would be so wound up at that point that you got to have something to calm you down.
yeah. I sometimes I'm on my phone and
But you have a clean couch,
And
so
William
that's
is
good.
like, get off of your phone. I'm like, I just need to do mind numbing things.
Yeah, doom scroll for a minute.
Totally. And
Yeah.
I do that probably too much. And I'm really going to work on dialing that back, because they say your kids shouldn't watch you on your phone. So anyway, yeah, but no, I mean, we go on a walk, and I
Yeah.
I just wake up and I do it all over again. But every day is different. Like, that's what I love so
Girl.
much about,
What time do you go to bed?
like, 10.
And
Or
then you get
sometimes
up
earlier.
at like 6.
Yeah. Mainly because my 5-month-old is
Oh,
crying.
that's right.
So I'm like, it's bottle time.
Okay.
I could probably sleep a little bit later. And I try to get into the office at 8. We have a morning call at 8. But if I miss it, it's fine. Like, I do love the flexibility that I have.
Do you like being able to go to work and then, I mean, not to say you need a break from your kids, but it's nice to have a break from your kids.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think I see myself
I don't see you staying at home.
staying.
You
Yeah,
would
I
lose
don't
your
think
mind.
staying at home and like playing with my children. This like sounds terrible because I'm actually thinking about my cousin is like the best mom ever, and she like.
I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom, and it's.
Well, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and if I didn't need to pay
It's
my mortgage,
challenging.
I would be a stay-at-home mom probably,
Right.
but I wouldn't stay at home.
Yeah.
My mom didn't stay at home.
Right. I mean, you get out, you do things. It's exhausting
But
in a
now
different
it's
way.
very hard. It's very hard to stay at home and then have the ability to afford the extra help that you need to not have to actually stay at home.
Right.
So like my cousin, she has memorized all the songs, like has memorized the books, has like the dances
The
down.
wiggles, all
Totally.
that,
And I
yeah.
and she's the cutest, she's like the best, and I'm like, wow. And she stays at home, and I'm thinking as much
would
as I
lose my
like
mind.
respect what you're doing, like
Yeah.
and that you're like, it's so cute to see her with her daughter. She's had a little baby boy. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna memorize the songs and play and dance. Like, I wish I could, but I'm just not. So I am glad that I have something
Yeah.
that kind of fulfills me.
Yeah.
That's not that. But
Yes.
it's not that I like necessarily need to like be a corporate girly. Like, I do think about that a lot. I'm like, that's not really what I had
I
in
do feel
store.
like that's your personality. I
To
mean,
be a corporate girly?
Yes, I go back to lacrosse, girl. Just because I just think that was your personality. Again, you being an attack. And when I looked it up, I was like, this just suits her. Like you're very motivated. Are you firstborn? No.
Well, second, but with my brother being
Yeah. You're like focused.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that.
I think you should eventually give the doing your own practice thing a shot because it's a little bit of both, right? You'd still be doing the same job, but it'd be a much different role.
You mean like starting my own RAA?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's certainly something that if I'm in this career 30 years from now, I'll probably have at least entertained. So it would be something I would be interested in. But then I still have to build a team. I have to figure out. Well, I have to have an outsourced CIO. I'm not gonna.
Well, you're not going to do it right
that.
now. I mean,
That's why it would be different.
but
That's
It would
why-
be
in
different.
10 years,
Right.
God, no telling where you're going to be.
Yeah.
You're going to have another kid.
I want
You'll be
another
like-
kid.
You may have
But,
another
like,
one.
I could.
You'll be-
You don't strike me as somebody that would struggle to build a team or to, you know what I mean? So like when you say like I don't think so because of that, I'm like, yeah, but you seem like you would be able to. You seem like you'd be able to crush that. So all I'm saying is that if you enjoy what you do, but maybe the corporate side to the heavy like corporate side to it.
Because you do
grinds
enjoy
on
it.
you.
I think
Yeah, that's
this
what I'm
is
saying.
what
I
we do.
love the industry and I love my clients so much, and I'm grateful for my firm because I don't think I would have the knowledge, and I don't think
Yeah.
I would have the book without the firm. So I'm scared to like lose the firm because
No,
that's
you're solid where you are, and I think I know that you say that you're grateful, but I'm sure they're grateful to have you as
Yeah,
well. You're an
I do
asset.
think that because of the size of the firm that I'm with, I'm just one person, right? And like I'll always just be one person. I mean, obviously my managers don't feel that way. The people but like at the end of the day, that's corporate America versus going and doing something small. And at some point, like you can weigh those pros and cons for sure. I think going and doing something on my own is probably something I would consider, but it's like scary. And it's not that I'm necessarily like, oh, I couldn't hire, but just why do I want to compete against what I got
Well,
now?
you don't
and then
right
how do
now.
I go in front of that, Meredith and say, you should work with me, like, and feel good about that.
You could be like Jerry Maguire. When Tom Cruise just like took off and started to, I don't know where that just came from, but it's
Well,
that's
I
true.
would say that a lot of it would come back to what you said earlier, though, is that they're working with you for you. And although you do have those resources and assets at your disposal, obviously, and I'm talking out of my ass to some degree. I don't, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, that
People
you're a huge factor
people
in that
will follow
equation.
you for your personality
Right, that's what I'm saying.
and
You're
for what
yes,
you bring.
yes,
And if I
yes.
could put a product in front of them that I felt good about, then I'm sure I would consider it. I think right now, I don't have confidence that I could put a product in front of those people better than the product I can put in front of them today.
Yeah.
Because of the resources that I have at my fingertips. And that is really why I go back to being grateful.
Yeah.
I'm not grateful for having to swipe my badge and record my call notes and, do all that bureaucratic BS. In fact, I think it's terrible, but we got to do, but that's part of it, so, but no, I definitely never thought like, oh, I'm going to be a corporate mom, like a mom in corporate
Really?
America. No, my mom was stay at home. All of her friends for the most part were at stay at home.
You were gonna going into econ. What did you expect? You were
Because
gonna
I knew I
teach
need
it.
Well, I knew I wanted a good job.
Right.
And
your grandfather was like a gold star, so you were.
So that's like that was like what success looked like. So that was,
Right.
I wanted to go get that job, but I didn't think I would like have kids and still have that job. I kind of felt like I needed to go to a good college to say that I went to a good college. That's not really a good reason to go to college, but in my mind it was like, oh, I want to. I felt like I'm succeeding because I got into a school I wouldn't have otherwise gotten into
Right.
on my own merit, and that felt good. Graduating from my high school, being able to say that I went to Johns Hopkins, that was an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And I viewed it that way. And then the next thing was getting this job was like an accomplishment.
Right.
And so in my mind, I think that if you had asked me 15 years ago where I would be now, I think that the next accomplishment would be stay at home.
Yeah.
And that's where, that's what I would have told you. And I joke with my husband.
I don't see you ever staying at home.
Right.
It's just not gonna
obviously I'm
happen.
here, I'm doing what I'm doing, but it is something that I'm like, wow, I never thought. And then I go back and I'm like, well, maybe if I had chosen a different career, the decision to stay at home would be easier.
But what would be a different career if you could do
A designer, a teacher.
Oh,
I wouldn't
can
have probably
see
been a
that.
good teacher, but like,
I could see you being a designer.
I would love to be a designer. And I would still love to be a designer.
Yeah.
No, like,
Or politics.
yeah. When I was little, I used to want to be like the next Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
That was my idol when I was like young.
I mean,
That's
you
worse.
could do that because you have a very good speaking voice.
Well, now she's like on her own, but I'm talking about when she was on like Fox.
Yeah, right.
Real.
Did you see that documentary about what was it called?
I don't think so.
And it had.
I've been
her
so
in
away
it.
from it all.
It was
but
old.
I just get clips of her now, and I'm like, wow, she's really saying it. She's not holding back.
There's no filter.
She's dropping the F-bomb. She wouldn't drop the F-bomb on on Fox News.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, when I was young, like prior to high school, I did think I wanted to be like a Megyn Kelly on Fox News. So
Yeah.
I've been all over the place, but
And
you know.
who's to say that won't happen years from now?
No, it won't.
You never know. I'm here to tell you.
Yeah, I've always been interested in politics, but
Yeah.
it exhausts me. Yeah, like I went to.
It's draining.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, and then there's a point, and you're like, and I'm done. Because
Yeah.
it just.
It's emotional.
I covered
too.
it. I covered it
It's-
on YouTube for a few years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was, and I have another channel now, and I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing it this time because it's just too much. It's too much he said, she said, like high school BS almost, like the headline grabbing and the lack of.
Facts.
Yeah, the lack of like.
Well,
depth
it's
in any
more like
conversation.
that now today.
Yeah.
I think with social media.
Well, and I think
It's gotten a lot worse over the last 15 years or so.
It's-
It's devolved quite a bit, I would think.
well, I think that because you can profit off of division, then that is what we've done. And I think it's really funny that many people can't see that that's what's going on.
Like they're being played. That you're being
Yeah,
played.
like
well, again, you go back to social media and the little clips that people read and whatever, and even actually elderly people who sit in front of a TV all day, they're, it's like you can get somewhat brainwashed to,
Totally.
Well, this is it. This is, what's going on. And it's, it turns into an emotional battleground.
Well, I feel like I found the best intersection because when I was young, I grew up in a conservative house. My dad was like, I will make sure you know what you need to know, which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
And I went to college, and a lot of my friends, were thought differently than me, and I think the diversity of thought was healthy, and it created lively debates for sure, and but all I can tell you is I came back more confident than ever that how I was raised was correct.
Yeah.
And I can say that because of my time in the Northeast with these folks who I love dearly, and I think it's totally fine for people to disagree.
Right.
However, in that time, I also started to see the role that like social media was playing, because I was getting to hear the way that they were perceiving information. And I'm like, I love these people. Mm-hmm. And you know what? They love me too. Now, I think there was a minute where like they wanted to
strangle you,
like the classic, like, oh, you vote for him, you're a racist. Like there were things like that. And I remember, and I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, what? You're my best friend. Like,
yeah.
So I'm not. So can you maybe like just use logic?
Yeah.
But they couldn't.
Yes.
And I hope that they may not listen to this, but like they know who they are. But like they couldn't use logic. They had to go straight for the, emotional division. And I'm like, by the way, you're the division. Like that is the division.
Take the emotion out of it.
Yeah.
And let's just put it all on the table.
And I saw the role that like social media had, and like the networking and the journalism, and I was just like, God, like I can't make a career on this because I just can't. But what I love about what I do with folks like you is like I'm still like close to it, because politics matter as it relates to
current
we
events.
like, as an example, we like financials right now, despite some of the recent volatility that we've seen, because we like the deregulation story.
Yeah.
Well, that's a policy. That's deregulation is something that Trump's all about. So it's like, and we don't care. I mean, like I guess my point is that, and we get to see what it means, and we study it, and really it's real. And then like it's funny too. Like taxes is a huge thing. I love when like the classic liberals like, oh, rich people don't pay taxes. I'm like, really? They don't? It's news to me.
Yeah.
It's really news to me. It's pretty much how I spend all my time, is trying to figure out how to be tax efficient because of how much taxes we pay. Okay, like this is crazy talk.
Yeah.
Just because you read some article about their W-2, like no one makes money on W-2 anyway. Like that's, it's just not to say that they're not doing things to be efficient, but that you could do too if you had to pay. But it's like, it's just I've learned that there's no truth in any of it, and so it's made me less inclined. Like I think didn't I give you the example of like, the birth control one? I feel like we talked about this. I remember like when I was in college.
No, you go. I think I know where you're going.
Well, I just remember there was like a big thing about how there was and I'm probably botching this, it's been a while, but there was a Supreme Court ruling, basically that was saying that, companies don't have to provide birth control. And it went to the Supreme Court, and it was a ruling, and it was, it was the correct ruling.
Right.
And there were a lot of like just flashy headlines that were like, Trump takes away your right to have birth control, blah, 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 as if Trump did anything, but regardless. And it just, all my friends, all my girlfriends, they were reposting that like one tagline item. Viagra is free, but birth control is not.
Oh,
like
I
all
remember
the
this.
stuff. And like, I just started thinking, I said, well, that's interesting, because this ruling was just saying, it was just basically giving companies religious freedom, which I think we all agree is correct.
Right.
No one is forcing anybody to work at that incredibly religious organization. And if you don't have a job and you don't work, you're on welfare and it's free. So birth control is free if you don't have a job. If you have a job, and 98%, I don't know what the stats are, but most companies, it's free. Like mine certainly is.
Right.
McDonald's, it would be. So if you have a job, it's most companies, it's free. And then let's just say you have a job but choose to work at an incredibly religious organization, like in the case of this Supreme Court ruling.
Like a Hobby Lobby or something?
I don't know what the company was,
Okay.
but it was a very religious organization. And they decide not to. Because it's their right.
Yeah.
Well, then Lil Esther and Faye is like $6.99 a month. Okay,
Yeah.
well, you have a job.
Right.
You have a job, so you can go pay for it.
Yeah, that's cheap.
That's cheap.
Wow.
So, and by the way, if that's not good enough, then quit and go work for a company that's offering it, like
Right.
the rest of America, like most companies. But it's like, you know what? That's not going to make for a really nice tag. Like I can't put that on an Instagram box and make it look cool. That's just logic.
Yeah.
It's just saying that, if you don't have any money, it's free. If you have a job and are making money, but they don't cover it. It's $6.99 if you. That was just the one that I was on.
Right.
And otherwise get a job where it's covered. You don't have to work at that religious organization. Like we're not taking rights away.
Right. You're not pinned in somewhere.
But
where
it was real easy for that headline to be trending. And it was and I was just like, this is why I hate politics, because I think that if I could sit across from every single person that is posting this and say, look, this isn't as bad as you think. I'm all about having, birth control, and like I'm I'm not necessarily gonna have a company and not offer it, like, ever.
Yeah.
So, but my point is that, like, I don't have the opportunity or the chance to sit across from the people posting and just say, hey, it's not as bad as you think. But by you posting it, you've just made this stigma
so much worse.
So much worse.
You've just contributed to the problem. Yeah.
So anyway, that was just one I remember when I was in college, and I'm like, yeah, that's why I can't do this.
Well, what's scary is that everybody's algorithm is different. Everybody gets shown different things, and so like you'll have a conversation with somebody, and what I've realized is that, like, sometimes when they're like, they look at you like, what are you talking about? It's because it's like they've not seen what you've seen.
Right.
Because they don't show you. Clearly, it's like, well, God bless. Have you
Who
not?
is they? Like, who is the algorithm? Who?
All of us.
Well, the algorithm is
But
just.
I mean, who determines algorithm?
The company itself. I mean, that's their proprietary technology. They're never gonna tell you exactly what the formula is. But long story short is, what you engage with, they show you more. That's the long and short of it. So
it's like an echo chamber.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I hate, let's say, the president, and I start liking and sharing posts that are about how bad he is, all it's
clearly.
going to give me is stuff about how bad he is, which means if I go to talk to you about it, you and I have literally, not like figuratively, not like, you're interpreting it a different way. No, you and I have literally not seen the same news. I have seen different stories than you have seen, and so now
it's
you're trying
frustrating.
to talk to each other, but it's like, how could you talk to each other when you don't have the same information? Like, it's literally impossible.
Yeah, it's very.
Well, and
it's
then
divisive.
and then
And then
because
you
of
get to
this
article sharing.
division,
Well,
because of social media, because of exactly what you're describing, the emotions have started to become such a factor to where now having
talked about
one-to-one
this, like
like
emotional
conversations that doesn't exist anymore. And so as soon as the cancel culture, you voted for him, you're this, that, and the other. It's like, who are you to say what I am?
Right.
Like,
Crazy thing to say, too.
it's a crazy thing to say.
And what we had talked about is it used to be where you didn't discuss religion or politics or back when I was.
But now we're like social justice warriors, and that's
and it
what
just
fills us
was
up.
it just was peaceful.
That's what I was saying though. Like my
we
grandparents.
just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I heard that all the time. You don't talk about religion
But this
or
was
politics.
also
Totally different time.
before social media
Yeah,
too.
Well, I
so
also
it's
think the
totally
difference between like where you lie, I don't know necessarily about like religion, but like politically, the difference between a Republican and a Democrat was far
was not as big as it
was
is now.
right
Yeah.
now. Like it's just the pendulum has swung. So I know a lot of Democrats say, "Oh, our party left us." Well, it's like, yeah, your party is like way over here.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and then the stuff that you're hearing about the Republican Party is like way over here.
They push each other so far out, and then I have to respond to you over here. You have to respond to me, and then it just continues to. And that's why they say one president creates the other a lot of times, because this person gets people all jazzed up about whatever it is, and then they want a counterbalance to what they just had.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
they start bouncing off of each other, and it gets wider and wider and wider and wider, and it's like.
Well, and information can just be spread so quickly, and it doesn't have to be true. I mean, Kamala Harris's campaign was on the rights to abortions. Well, the fact that was even what she could run on. Trump can't get rid of anyone's rights to an abortion. Like he doesn't have that right. How is an entire campaign? But the how is because people don't. They don't have to.
They're not willing or able.
They're not willing or able, and because of the role of social media and journalism, they can be what they're reading. Like, they have no reason to question it. And I understand that. Like, I'm not saying
there's no facts behind it.
there's no facts behind it. And by the way, it absolutely goes both ways. But I do think that it's not the left or the rights necessarily. It's the journalism. It's the interpretation. It's the media. It's the echo chambers. And so all of that is what made me so disinterested.
Yeah.
And so what I love about like getting to work with business owners, getting to work with families.
Well, you're working one-on-one with people as well.
Yeah.
And you're not.
And I have clients
you're
that are
not in
all
the
across
muck.
the political spectrum, but it's very, very helpful to like talk to them about their business.
Right.
Like, hey, what does this mean for you?
Yeah.
is this good? Like, I work with some folks in the car business. They own car dealerships. So like when the tariffs were happening, I was very curious. Well, it's so great that I don't have to find some journal or some Fox News or CNN or a friend's Instagram post to get my reaction on tariffs. I'm just going to call my client who has, owns a bunch of Toyota dealerships in the Southeast and ask him. You tell me.
Yeah, right.
Let me.
You're hearing it from the mouth of the horse.
Yeah, what's your view? And I don't know. I think that's so. Anyway, I found my perfect place to, stroke that interest, but not have to.
So the answer to that question is no. You won't be in politics anytime soon. That took 30 minutes.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh no. That's a great conversation to have for sure, and I'm right on board with you. But I feel like can we do the lightning round thing? We've talked a lot, girl.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to chit chat about? No.
No.
Call me out on anything else?
No.
Okay.
No. I love Meredith. She's one of my favorite clients by far.
No, she says because she's on my podcast. Okay, so what's your favorite time of the day? This is a lightning round, by the way. These are quick questions that I'm just curious to know about her.
Favorite time of the day is probably right after lunch.
Right after lunch? Because you're a little tired or what? You want to take a nap under your desk?
Well, for me, I've had my lunch. I basically am in a position where I'm okay, I can wrap up a couple of things and leave early, or I have the rest of my day to get all these things I need to get done. And so for me, it's it's every single 2 o'clock, I'm where are we? Is my day over? Because it can be if I've gotten what I need to do done, or how should I spend my afternoon? And I just like that time. I used to be a morning person, but ever since I had my children, my hormones changed. I'm not.
Yeah. Do you ever have a casual Friday or something like that? Do y'all do that?
Yeah. I mean, we have. Yeah. I mean, 3 o'clock on a Friday, we're out.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Do you have a nickname?
I do. Lo was my nickname in college. Also Lizard.
Oh.
Lizzie. Then it became Lizard. So my nicknames are Lo and Lizard.
Okay.
They're a little weird, but...
It is kind of weird. I don't see you as a lizard.
Well, Lizzie came out as my fun bar alter ego.
Oh, okay.
Lizzie G's out tonight. That's what my friends would say. And then for whatever reason, they started calling me Lizard from there.
It was just one bad night. And then
I guess I just I think it was a karaoke night maybe. I don't know. Something.
Oh, what was your karaoke song? Do you remember? You sang karaoke, really?
In college, I did. That's how Lizzie G got started. It was a karaoke night, and I can't remember what song I sang.
Country?
Probably country, or what's
See, I was a country
I Will
girl.
Survive.
Oh, Gloria Gaynor.
Mm-hmm. That's that. I do that one.
I know the artist's name.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. I was going to say also, if you could change your name, what would you change it to? Because I know growing up, I did not like my name.
Probably I would just be Elizabeth.
Okay.
Because my name's Elizabeth Loring Gerhart George.
I see you as Elizabeth.
Yes. So Loring's my grandmother's name, and I'm fine with it. But
I like Loring.
It's also
unique.
hard because it's a middle name, so it's already I have to correct my.
People probably call you Lauren.
And they call me Lauren, which I'm yeah. My mom's why do you let them call you Lauren? I'm I don't feel like correcting them.
Yeah.
So it's just annoying that I have to always correct or just accept a different name because I don't like to correct, and then also have to tell my teachers and my doctors that I don't go by Elizabeth. So
I get it.
Yeah, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Meredith I didn't like because it had so many syllables and no one knew how to spell it. And
I guess Elizabeth has a lot too.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
I love Meredith. I think Meredith's a classic name.
Oh, thanks, girl. Yeah. Okay, what's your favorite sandwich, or do you have a strange food combination?
Favorite sandwich is a club. I love a club.
Good club. Mm-hmm. Solid.
Yep. Food combination.
Like something strange.
I eat a lot of food.
Don't we all?
We
can come back to it.
I don't think I have one.
We could put a pin in it. Do you have a guilty pleasure TV show or series? Do you watch TV?
I do. Like right now, I'm
Netflix?
watching Suits, and William's like, "That's a terrible show." I'm like, "Oh, I love."
Oh, I like
love-
Suits, but there's so many seasons.
There are.
I was gonna say I like it for a while, and it's like okay.
It's all the same.
It is kind of.
Every scene.
I like Suits. I like White Collar. I like shows like that.
That's on trend for you.
I also.
If you said Love Island or something, I'd be like, girl,
No,
what?
I couldn't tell you a single thing about Love Island. I don't watch reality TV shows.
Yeah.
I loved like
That would be
Gossip
odd.
Girl, One Tree Hill,
Okay.
90210. Like I watched those shows growing up, but no reality. I don't do reality. I don't follow up.
You don't do the Housewives?
Don't do Housewives. I don't follow like celebrities.
The Mormons.
I don't follow the Secret Lives.
Yeah.
I know of them, but no.
Okay, I put what's something you've always wanted to do besides banking?
Probably.
A lacrosse coach.
No,
Oh.
definitely not. I mean, I love lacrosse. I know we talked a lot about that, but it's probably the most I've talked about lacrosse since I graduated college, frankly.
You're welcome.
My dad would be so proud. Let's see. Probably like something. I think I want to be an interior designer.
Yeah.
My mother,
Yeah, I could see
who
that.
has a lot of experience in that realm, is like, no, trust me, no, you don't.
Yeah. Well,
don't
because
really-
you're dealing with people.
Yeah, and she's like, there's so many choices. It's actually a lot of work, and you think it's fun, but you're really not gonna like it. Now, I think she's just projecting because she doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And
I think you'd be good at it. It's
love.
definitely stuff you've got to
really?
pick out and you got to order.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I love like home, and I also love baby like clothes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have an idea for a baby clothing
Line?
line storehouse kind of thing.
Cool.
It's called the Cotton House, and it's like a
Nice.
little cottage where it's basically like. So my mom always hand smocked all of our dresses. So she would go and pick out fabric that was like, good 100% cotton fabric, and so not like the polyester, like
Yeah. Top notch.
right.
No low grade Pottery Barn stuff.
Right, exactly. But I mean, it did wrinkle though. She did say like ironing is a total bitch. But anyway, they're just good quality, and you really can tell.
Yeah.
You can get them here at like the children's corner. They sell all the fabrics. So she would like go pick out her fabrics. She would do the smocking herself,
Yeah.
and then she'd have them made, all the outfits. And like back then, I'm sure she was paying like $20. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't much. Now she has someone that will sew for her for like $50. So like
Wow.
because she's putting in all the work, it's not like she's paying that much more for these outfits than she would if she were to go to like our plaid rabbit that we have here in Green Hills.
Yeah.
But it's way more sweet and sentimental
Yes.
and like so I just have a
You
huge
make all your kids.
she
stuff.
does.
Yeah.
And so I have a huge appreciation for that. And one of my best friends is really into smocking, and I know a lot of people are into embroidery. So like I love the idea of like a
You could
cotton
do a
house.
pop-up store.
Well, it's more like a wig work for creative-minded people that want to sew,
Okay.
smock, and that appreciate the traditional like way of dress.
Yeah.
And my thought, like what I envision is that if you were someone that was doing a piece of it but didn't have a sewer or seamstress, like you could walk in and say, I'm trying to get my Christmas outfits for my children together. Help me. So it's like a consult. Oh, sure. Like let me charge you a $20 consultation, and then I've got a sewer that can help, and it's just kind of like girls help girls.
Yeah.
I know,
Oh, yeah.
right? Well,
You're starting a business.
I already have like the logo for it. So cute.
Oh.
Well, really, what's funny is it's not even. No, actually, my best friend, she's been sewing incredible pieces, and she's like, I think I'm going to sell it. And so naturally, I'm like, and I've got your logo, and I've got your business, and I'm going to be your business partner. Even like I didn't touch a thread, so I'm like totally riding her coattails. But I also like want to do it, and I
Yeah.
think that she can sew, and I can create the business.
So I go to describe your style in one word.
Oh, in one word,
I can describe.
traditional.
Yes.
Was that how you would describe it?
1,000%. Well, I would say preppy, but it's
Yeah,
traditional. Yeah, for sure.
I would say traditional more than preppy,
Yeah.
probably.
Like, I couldn't do that with a scarf. People would look at me strange if I wore a scarf like that.
Well,
but
this-
it works for you.
I had a
'cause
meeting
you're-
this morning, which is the only
You're a
reason.
businesswoman.
Well,
She cracks it up.
Okay,
I'm talking about you. Yeah.
favorite type of weather?
sunny, not too
Yes.
hot, like a pretty spring day.
Yes. What is a childhood fear or something you were afraid of when you were a kid? This is a good one, I thought.
This is a good one.
I can go first if you want me
Yeah,
to. 'cause
please,
I
please.
was afraid of Medusa.
Oh.
That's specific.
Oh my God, terrified. Like, and you know, with Medusa, if you look in the mirror and you see her and you look at her, you turn to stone. And I always had a mirror right by my bed, and I would always turn away with the cover over my head, even if I was sweating at night,
wow.
because I was terrified of it. That went on for years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Your turn.
I don't know. I was always, and this is partly because I'm very forgetful and a little bit ADD, a lot ADD. You probably can pick up on that.
I can't really.
Really? Well, I am,
Just
and I don't take medicine anymore. So that's also why I'm like, when I'm on my medicine, I'm like to the point.
Oh, okay.
But I'm also not very nice, apparently.
You're not scattered. You just you like I said, you give out a wealth of knowledge.
Oh, well, thank you.
So
Sometimes I think I'm just long-winded, but
That too,
when I
but
was
it's okay.
when I was little,
I like it.
I always had anxiety that I would like forget my cleats or I'd forget the binder that needed to, like I was always afraid
Yeah,
of
forgetting
showing
something.
up to something without
Not
a
prepared.
piece, not being prepared.
Okay.
And it was always like, oh, if you needed to have your penny, like for lacrosse, like
Yeah.
you'd wear a penny, a
Like
practice
you have
penny.
dreams of being naked in front of a bunch of people and being like
Never
freaking
naked,
out.
but I would have nightmares of like showing up to lacrosse practice and forgetting my penny.
Yeah.
Like, and that, you know, but like when I was really little, I remember just always having like fears of just not being prepared. I guess
Yeah.
that's the way to put it.
Okay.
Maybe that was just anxiety and I didn't know, you know, anxiety, like that's a new thing, right? I feel like,
I mean, people talk about it.
yeah, like I didn't
I think
have anxiety until anxiety became a thing and now I have
Right.
tons of it.
Now well, because everybody has a name for everything now. It's like, oh, I'm with a narcissistic person, or
Yeah.
I have my anxious attachment, or, you know, because everything has a label.
Which
now.
maybe is making it worse.
Yeah, I think that's a whole nother
Yeah.
topic, but yeah. What's your favorite Disney character?
Cinderella.
Oh,
I like a Cinderella story.
I can see that.
Like all my favorite movies are Cinderella stories.
Yes.
Pretty
You
Woman.
kind of look like Cinderella
Oh,
a little bit.
thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, and the last one is how do you answer the phone?
Depends, like with my friends or at work.
I don't know, both.
With my friends, I'm just like, hey girl,
Hi, girl.
hey girl, what's up? I guess at work it's Lori. Nope.
Oh, you said it.
It's all right.
We can-
It's fine.
Okay, I guess we're done. We done.
If you're interested in wealth management or working with me, please reach out to Meredith and she'll get you in touch.
Like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff, and help me out, please. And I started some. Should I do this thing? I started something new called Buy Me a Coffee, and it's similar to like a Patreon account. I haven't figured out yet how to put it on, you know, my stuff because I'm a child at doing this. But one day I'll get it figured out. It's already up. But, you know, if you want to donate or do something to help me out, that'd be great. So I can continue this. Yeah, if you want to sponsor, whatever you would like to do.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, sure.
How did you get into this? Like, what made you want to do this?
Podcast?
Yeah.
I told you. I went through some kind of like little healing journey when I had a breakup.
Yeah, but I don't feel like you told me, like, I mean,
I went through a really harsh, just strange breakup that just kind of it made me want to kind of heal what was going on inside of me. I just was not happy.
Yeah.
And the more I started to heal and go on hikes and listen to podcasts, I was like, I feel like I need to share what's going on.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, if somebody's going through the same thing, then, you know, I just want to share it. And
yeah, well, you're good at it.
Really?
Yeah.
Thanks, girl.
Just your ability to just talk.
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it, and I like talking to people like you and just getting knowledge out. And, you know, what's crazy about it is I'm in the dance community, and so everybody so far in the dance community, you know, they've had something unique happen to them. Either it's a health problem or it's just something really cool and unique. And it's nice to be able to talk to these people and kind of share their lives,
Yeah.
and other people connect. And I don't know.
I love it.
It's new. I'm no Joe Rogan. That's just what I said. But
Do you listen to Joe Rogan?
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Sometimes. There's a bunch of different podcasts.
Do you listen
though.
to the All In?
I listen to Diary of a CEO. I listen to, no, I've never heard that one.
I wouldn't think you.
I listen to Jay Shetty a lot. It just depends on who's on there and what I'm feeling in my head,
Yeah.
and a lot of it's relationships shit, but,
Which we didn't talk about, but I love.
oh, relationship stuff. Oh, that'll
That's
be
why I
part
want.
two.
That's why I want a daughter.
Yeah.
I want.
Well,
I want to
girl,
be.
you say that, but, sometimes it goes in the opposite direction.
Right. I can.
I mean, I'm not speaking from personal experience at all. But yeah. Anyway, we're done. The end.
All right. How'd I do?